Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you're new here, welcome to this corner where we share a little more details than required. It's lovely to have you here, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel because I post a video every single week, and I post valuable, insightful videos every single week. And if I fail to post one week, I tend to post to the coming week. So it's entertaining and it's very educating to be here as a virtual assistant. It's lovely to have you here, in case I forgot to say that. Okay, do not forget to like any of my videos that you watch, and when it comes to comments, I'm open to having conversations in the comments. I always reply comments. So add something you feel like I've forgotten, like regarding the topic I've spoken about. If you feel like I've left something out, I'm only human, leave it in the comments. If you have something to add, if you have something to a disappointment to express, you can always leave it in the comment. If you have a question, you can also just leave it in the comment. And even if it's not me, I'm sure someone has enough knowledge like to respond to you, but I always respond to comments. Okay, so let's dive in. And this is a disclaimer. I'm not saying there's like the proven highest paying virtual assistant skills in 2026, but I'm saying these are the ones that have paid me personally the most. Okay, and so I'm going to start with the first one. The first one is actually kind of slept on, okay, because I think, or maybe it's just because of the type of businesses that I work with, because I work with online service businesses, and that is coaching businesses, consulting businesses, authors, speakers, mentors, okay, course creators, people who have digital products. And for these types of businesses, like scaling for them means having communities. And that brings me to my first skill, community management. Okay, so if you're someone who loves to engage, if you're someone who loves to talk to people, who loves to keep groups active, okay, community management is a great skills to pitch to clients. Okay, because okay, you can also, like, if you want to practice community management, you should practice using tools like School, Kajabi. Okay, you can use Teachable. Okay, we have Facebook groups. Actually, Facebook groups are kind of a thing right now. Okay, if you can grow and engage Facebook, like people, members in a Facebook group, that is a great skill to pitch, and it pays really well. Okay, because like I mentioned, it's not a skill that you can pitch to beginners. It's a skill that you, okay, not beginners really, to start, like startups, especially in service businesses. It's not a skill that startups require, but it's a skill that scaling businesses require, like coaches and like online businesses that are scaling. Okay, so if you're someone who can do that, you should consider having community management and pitching community management and growing communities. Okay, and yeah, Go High Level has communities too. I think communities are kind of everywhere. Memberships and communities are kind of very common right now, so it's a skill that pays really well. Okay, and then the second one is automation. So basically AI automations, or just normal automations using tools like Zapier, using tools like Go High Level, and like creating workflows, managing workflows. We have like virtual assistants who just niched down to being Go High Level experts. Okay, automations are a thing. Automations are very common, and automations are a must for any specific business, especially that needs a virtual assistant in 2026. Okay, and to practice automations and workflows and triggers and everything, you can use free tools. And I'll give you an example. There's sender.com, sender.com. You can use that. It's a free tool. I use that to practice my skills, creating workflows and triggers. And you can have a number of emails, okay, 2-3 emails that are just in your like email list. It's like your practice email list. Okay, you can practice creating workflows on there. You can practice like having like scheduling emails, like email management. You can use that tool to practice a lot of things. Okay, and if you want something details, when you get to a point where you feel like you want something more challenging, okay, you can sign up for 30, like we have 30 days trial. For example, you can use Dubsado. Dubsado has like 30 days trial. That is how I practiced, and I became an online business manager because of this because of perfecting these skills. Okay, so if you want to be good at automations, you can start with Sender, like any other free tool really. You can practice like creating workflows, delivery, and making sure everything works right. Okay, and then after that you can move to like the 30-day trial, and you can now perfect your craft and start pitching this skill to clients. Okay, it pays really well. Okay, any form of automation, whether it's AI or not, for any business, it pays well. Okay, and the third skill is CRM management. okay, like mapping and building like customer journeys using tools like HubSpot. And for that, I recommend you can use HubSpot Academy. I don't know if it's free anymore, but I used HubSpot Academy to practice CRMs, okay, and I learned everything I can, and I also got to a point where I need more, and I signed up for the 30-day free trial, and I also really practiced in details, okay, before I started pitching to clients. Okay, that is on customer relationship, like CRM management, and it can be HubSpot, it can be like using ActiveCampaign, it can be using something like, again, like Go High Level. I think it has that, like just managing pipelines and customers and customer journeys. That is something you really need to learn in 2026 if you want to be really paid really well as a virtual assistant. Okay, and then the next skill that I'm going to mention, it's just a general skill, and it's a soft skills. As you know, if you watch some of my videos, I love soft skills, and that is leadership, okay? Because leadership is a skill that you'll need for a lot of the skills that I've mentioned before. You need to take, leadership will help you take ownership, and leadership is what you'll need to maybe scale to your business to an online business manager like I did. Leadership, you'll need to scale your business to maybe a coach or a mentor for other VAs, like I also do, okay? And leadership is what you also need to create a virtual assistant community, okay? Leadership is a skill that is very high paying because it is what will help you scale your business, and it will also help your client trust you as their virtual assistant, okay? Number 4 is operations manager. Is it number 4? I don't know. Operations manager. If you're really good at, I am saying this because it's something I'm also good at. If you're good at spotting gaps, okay, noticing gaps, if you're hyper aware like I am, okay, if you love solving problems, okay, you can be an operations manager, and it pays really well because you're no longer being paid in terms of hours as a virtual assistant. You're getting paid as an operations partner. You're basically a COO, okay? And that, like, if you have skills that will help you become a really good operations partner, I'd tell you to consider like going into that niche because it pays really well, okay? And I've said operations is not something you like. I don't think there's a tool that will help you become a better operations partner. I think when it comes to that, it's just something that you build habits and you make yourself become someone who can really manage operations for any form of business, okay? Especially personally, it's online service businesses, okay? And then the last one, I think there are other honorable mentions I might make another video, but these are just the ones that pay me really well as a virtual assistant and online business manager, okay? This is the most important for any type of business, okay? Lead generation. Lead generation is and has always been the most important part of, like, the most important skill of a virtual assistant. That is a technical skill, okay? You don't have to be a people's person, but you need to know how to source out leads and convert them, okay? So if you, like, it's basically sales, okay? Every type of business needs leads, and if you can just find a way, I'm not good at it. That is not something I'm really good at because, as I mentioned, I'm good at the back end stuff. I'm good at the operations. I'm really good at like the automations. I'm technical like that, okay? And so if you're good at lead generation, okay, because I only do lead generation for one client and it still pays well, okay? So lead generation is a skill that if you can practice, and it's always sorted out, like every business needs leads, okay? And they needs like quality leads that convert. So if you can find a way to master lead generation, that is one of the most highest, like the highest and easiest to find client, okay? So I think that is it, and I might make another video because I feel like I've forgotten some because I'm not used to recording videos as I read somewhere. I tend to like start focusing on one as opposed to the other. I tend to be I'm someone who loves, I naturally love to be present, okay? So when I'm recording, when I'm reading, and I think if I start doing both, it will maybe just start feeling unnatural to me. And so yeah, those are the ones that I could remember today, and if I remember others, I'll make another video, okay? Or rather, if I go through my invoices and think, okay, yeah, this one is paying me really well, I'll make another video. But for today, those are if you have any others that are really paying you well as a virtual assistant, you can add them in the comments, okay? And by the way, this video is not speaking about niches, okay? Because if I was going to niches that pay well, I'd talk about the niches that pay well, okay? This video is talking about the skills that pay well, like will make clients be willing to pay you a good amount of money in 2026, okay? maybe I'll make another video about niches. Anyway, thank you for watching. Do not forget to like this video. Do not forget to add a comment, add a suggestion, anything, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching.